Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Game Time podcast by your host, Dr. Fonzi. We are here to talk about basketball and strictly basketball. And I have with me today, from my far left, Padlock, Coach T, and Aaron. And we are here to just talk about a bit of Spintex nights, Ghana basketball, Spintex nights in Ivory Coast, Spintex nights in Nigeria. Then we'll touch on the minister. He spoke nicely about basketball, but it looks like the whole Ghanaian populace were not really enthused about what he was saying. To the best of my knowledge, he was lost. It's like taking a fish out of the ocean and putting him in a jungle. And that is all he was saying. Guys, welcome to today's podcast.
Thank you.
So let's kick it up. Let's go back in memory lane and talk about Spintex nights in Ivory Coast. I'm sure everybody here was there. It was a very nice experience. From arriving at the border, we being forced to take some vaccinations. And I think we need to talk about this because a lot of Ghanaians didn't know, or our viewers didn't know what happened. What is your fondest memory when we actually set off from Ghana?
Mine was right from Sakumono, and then through it, like in the bus, we had about 15 loaves of bread and some meat, we understand. But personally, I'll be sleeping now. If I open my eyes now, I just stretch my hand like this because I was the one who keeping the bread, you understand? So I just stretch my hand like this, pick one loaf, tear it apart, and then just throw it back. So mine was in the bus.
Coach, what was your fondest memories?
I think for me, it had to do with the game against SOA. It was because before we went, that was what we were preparing for, to play against the best team in Ivory Coast, and our performance against that team made me believe that our team was ready to take on the giants in Africa. So
let's go into that game. I remember preparation towards that game was very high. Was it that game that they told us they have no bus for us, so we had to either walk to the venue or we had to take?
well, that was the first game,
The
very first game.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I remember the SOA game. There was a bit of delay, and we went underground to the dressing room to get ourselves ready. And morale was high. I realized, oh, you guys were all up there. I was a bit emotional, so I had to walk away. To jump ball. And yeah, let's go into that game. Well, what were your thoughts as we took a double digits lead?
I think when we took that lead, the thought process was we needed to keep that lead. And just before halftime, they tied the game, and that was when it hit me that they had shown experience. They had shown that they were not just a walk in the park. So, I mean, the pedigree of the team was very high, considering that they had played in the road to Bow the previous year. So basically, they just showed what they were made of. And somewhere in the second half, they also were leading us by about almost 20 points. And just about 3-4 minutes for the game to end, we had tied the game. So then again, I knew that this is our team. This is a team that would do Ghana proud.
But talking about that game, for me, my takeaway, I'll say, is the experience we were able to gather, because this group of guys who have been together for a very long time, playing on a professional level, playing against us that we had been on a very amateur level. I say a very low amateur level. For some of the boys, was their first time playing in an indoor gym. And we just started that game and Treasure just took us guns blazing. on every PNR pick and roll, he just lights them up.
Yeah.
But I am playing the video in my head and I realized that the SOA coach was smart. The SOA coach was smart. He did a lot of changes down the line, and he brought in bigs who were chipping off the lead bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. Coach, look, I was running away from their number 10.
You explain to us.
Okay, I think we going to Ivory Coast. That game was my biggest game I've ever played in basketball. And in Ghana, I wear the number 10. But in Ivory Coast, I had a bigger guy who was stronger, more experienced than me. And before God and man, I've never played basketball to that level that I'm feeling that, okay, no, this guy there, I no go fit him. This guy, I no go fit him. And that was one of my biggest experience. And I think coming back to Ghana, I think basketball alone is not about the skill. And you need to put in some work to get tougher. And the mindset alone will take you far. So I think that experience was better on me. I think this year, I'm good to go.
Yeah, but we cannot talk about the SO game and not talk about Amoto and his contribution off the bench. I realized we started him off the bench, and a lot of the Ghanaian viewers have issues with Spintex night when they go out and they want to play Amoto off the bench. Coach, you are the only one who can give them this answer.
I mean, one of the things we had to consider, especially in Ivory Coast, was our size. If we had started Amoto in place of Kwanchi, it would be small to start. If we had started Amoto in place of Treasure, would be undersized coming off the bench. So really, it was for us to decide on having enough firepower coming off the bench whilst having firepower starting the game. And I think Kwanchi at the 3 really helped us because he was able to match the guy's strength for strength, and he was taking the ball to the hoop without having to struggle so much.
Big ups to you, Samuel.
Just based on how I like my teams to play, so I always try to make sure that we have firepower coming off the bench. So we had to decide, what do we do? Do we start everyone in the game and have less firepower coming off the bench? So really, that's what I had to go with, and it paid off.
So let's talk about the last second. I know we had an opportunity to tie the game. Is it with a 3 or a 2?
2, tie the game. 3, win the
Win the
game.
game. And what was going through your head when you caught that time?
Those are things that we basically have. For me personally, I've always been prepared for situations like that. Should I say I did not put the guys through situations like that to prepare them well enough for something like that? Because we're a team that basically by the time we're in the fourth quarter, we are up by 30 or by 40. So really, it wasn't really something that the team had to really go through. So, coming out, I knew that, okay, well, I was ready, but I didn't prepare the players enough for a moment like that. So I just had to live with the result coming off it, because you can't really blame them for something you've not taught them.
Yeah. So Aaron, what's going through your head when coach called the timeout, during the timeout, and when we went on the floor?
Okay, so I think there was a miscommunication, and then it happened when we went to Nigeria like a few months ago. There was a miscommunication. We as playing bodies, we wanted to win the game, not overtime, and then our coach too, want us to tie the game and then go to the next 5 minutes, like the overtime. So when coach like gave us the play to go and run it, the people knew that for this game, this seconds, like, okay, they are shooting guard, like they're going to draw a play for the shooting guard to come. So they also came prepared. And then it was a decoy for us to get a 2-pointer. So we tied the game. And then my G over there, also I think it's all based on trust. He have that trust. He trusted me enough
That
to
you
knock
get
down
Mr.
that
Clutch.
three. You understand? Yeah, are you clutch? So instead of him going through like the play itself, he saw me wide open and then decided to pass the ball.
Young kids, listen to your coaches, okay? Improvisation.
And
Take you far.
and and these big guys, like they are big, but the way they can move, like
Okay, so I think enough of Ivory Coast. We went in there, we did what we were supposed to do. We came back, and I personally was a bit surprised how Ghanaians were happy about what we did there. Let's go into Nigeria. And oh yes, we cannot end Ivory Coast by not saying thank you to people like Mr. Wendelotu, Eche, and Richard Bossa, Senior. We are very grateful for all you did for us during that period and that journey. It couldn't have been possible. Chiwa, big ups. Senior Mandogo, big ups. And it is through this period that people actually have the heart and the love for basketball. And we hope that if we are also in that position, we'll be able to replicate it for other people also. Nigeria.
Papa P.
Oh,
P.
one man, Papa PP. God bless you. I believe moving forward and in subsequent tournaments we will be moving with you. Let's go into Nigeria. I think going to Nigeria, stress for me was not being able to sleep well. Not being able to sleep well. We get into the country and no access to money. Wow, no access to money. And the shock of my life was that we all go to was it Mr. Biggs or
Chicken Republic.
Chicken Republic. We get in there, buy food, and we don't have money to pay. We buy food and we don't have money to pay. Big up, Mr. Akin. You were a wonderful person for us when we got into Nigeria from the get go till we left Nigeria. So let's talk about Nigeria. We have a lot of things to talk about. So Nigeria, quickly. Paulo.
Oh, Omo Alpha na.
Nigeria was tough. I mean, going to Nigeria, I think it has improved my basketball because I never thought we would go out there to get recognized. Because coming from a small country, coming from a country that basketball is not really known, we got there and then they realized that are you guys professional players? Are you playing basketball to get paid? But at the end of the day, I mean, we give thanks to God. We got there and then some numbers in the team got praised. We were able to raise the flag of Ghana so high. So it was a better experience for me. I wish to do that again, or I want to do that again.
Oh, for real. I think it's something that we are looking at going back there.
We left some things uncovered there, so
We need to go and cover them.
yeah.
I realize
You bab.
I realize going to Nigeria we have trending numbers. We'll talk about this is on shit. Talk about it. So, coach.
I think for me, the Niger trip was something I really wanted because I had been to Nigeria, I had played against their teams, and I think when I was coming back on my first trip, I was asking myself, what are these guys doing differently from what we do in Ghana? And I noticed that skill for skill, we were there with them. We're probably above those guys, but being technically sound, tactically sound, those guys were way ahead of us. following through what they had planned and everything. So going back, I told myself there was no way we were going to go back and go and represent like when I was playing. We needed to go back and show them what Ghana basketball was about. Because for me, it was beyond just Spintex night. It was us sending a message and making it clear that look, Ghana down here can play basketball if we have the opportunity. So for me, it was for us to make a mark, and so that was the mindset I went to Nigeria with.
Okay, so mine too. I think it was an experience that we had to enjoy because you know
Hey.
um when they see us small like that, they be like, actually, but this what you go carry footballers come here say they can't play basketball, like because out there teams like Giddy Giants, Quara Falcons, River Hoopers, Lagos Legends, like they are big, okay. And then looking at even our big man, that was Bashir, no,
Mubarak.
Mubarak, like 6'6" or 6'7",
Yeah.
and then their guards over there like 6'5", 6'6". So they were like, but these people too, they go free play basketball. But playing against them, we gave them a ransom. You understand? So it was an experience that we did enjoy, and we want to do it again. Yeah.
Because I remember even before we went, we were getting messages from the Nigerians.
We go
Are you sure? Because Coach Mike Akubo came from the Giants of Africa rep for West Africa. And when I worked with him, he was like, are you sure your team can play against these Niger guys? And all I kept telling him was like, we've done it in Ivory Coast. What makes you think that we can't do it in Nigeria? And so the mindset about us before the games was, oh, these people are. So we played our friendly game on, it was a Saturday. We played against LXB. And just after that, they were like, okay, these guys can play. So they started sending the message across. So now people started hearing, oh, there's a Ghanaian team that's down here and they can actually play. So Sunday we go and we play against Lagos Legends in a friendly, and they beat us by 2. So I go to bed and I'm thinking, this is one of their best teams in the country, and we lose by 2. And even the loss by 2, it was because we gave it away. And really, we just felt like this was just a friendly game, warm-up game. So that message to them was they really got the message even before the tournament started. And then when we met Lagos Legends in the semi-final, for me it was a done deal in my head even before the game because I knew the adjustments we had to make to
But
those.
let's not jump to semi-final. Let's talk about our first group game. I think our first group game was against
Unilag.
Unilag. But then even talking about the group that contains Sprinters Knights, Unilag, Rivers Hoopers,
Giddy Giants.
and Giddy Giants. I think it was
And Comet.
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 Is it Egun Comet?
Ebun Comet.
Egun Comet.
Ebun.
And I felt it was like that group was the toughest group because everybody was beating everybody.
Yeah.
We play Unilac, we whitewash them, go in and put all our energy into Reverse Hoopers because the mindset was, oh, this is about him.
Yeah.
We need to make a statement. We need to let them know that we are also ready. We can compete. So we sharpen up our swords and axes and we go into battle with them and we lose to them by 5.
It was by 5. It was 77-72.
Good. We lose to them by 5. The most painful game against Ebum Comet. What was running through your head when we lost that game?
Damn.
I mean, my experience after losing Comet's game, it was, let's spend all the money we have on us because we are leaving the following day. I come back to Ghana, so we go to ShopRite. They say they don't take cash, so we had to leave and go to Spa. And we are walking in Spa and we are buying everything we can buy, and then we get a call. So
Actually, I was in the we were in the arena myself. So Louis Adam goes like, "Oh, I shouldn't go. I should come sit by him." we are having a nice conversation about how to make things happen in Ghana. And oh, Ghanaians, watch out. There's something major coming. And we are bringing Nigerian teams to Ghana. So watch out for this space. And he's talking about how we can make things happen in Ghana. And Ebun comments that we lost 2-2
Yeah.
is being killed by Unila. So I was proud to go into sit by Louis and them. I was outside and their coach was like, nah, Ebun comment thinks they can beat us. No, we gave them their players. All the players on Comet is our players. So we'll show them. We know how they play. Oh, Ghana, don't go home yet. Because we needed Comet to lose for us to qualify.
Yeah.
And they beat them by 6.
Yeah.
They were even up like more than 20.
Yeah, they were up by double digits. Ebun Comments now came rushing in and they beat them by 6. I think our next, for me personally, going into Lagos Legends, we have played them running time in a friendly, lost to them by 2. It was not up for discussion. I know we'll beat them. Thoughts on Lagos Legends?
Okay. Those one of the easiest games we've ever played in the tournament.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
Wow.
oh yeah.
No, you had a good day. You had a good day.
Not
Everything
that.
was falling. You had
But
a
to
good
me,
day.
it was one of the easiest games I've played in like I played in Nigeria because I was able to hit the buzzer in that game. I had a couple of threes, last. It was a good game for me.
Mm.
And I think we were more organized because from how we qualified from the group, it was more like the boys were ready. The boys were super ready to kill and to make Ghana proud. And it was just a good show. At the end of the day, we grabbed the win and it was a good show. It was a good show from the boys.
So before we continue, for all those watching us, it's still the Game Time podcast. For people around who want to sponsor the Game Time podcast, our numbers are down there 0244 You can hit us up and let's put some things on paper and move on. Yes. So coming back to our final game, because we need to move away from Spintex night and talk about Ghana basketball. Our final game against Kwara Falcons. Coach,
uh, let's look at it this way. Coming down to Kara Falcons, our game plan was really to bring James off the bench. Really, in fact, that's how we started.
Ghanaians didn't like that. A lot of
No.
people on social media were like, at a point they even thought we were playing James too much. We need to take them off. I think one of the things we've all come to understand is that we know how to play. They know how to watch. So they'll comment.
Definitely. So we start Primo, and Primo injures his shoulder just as we start the game, like 3 minutes into the game. So right now, game plan is messed up because the guy who's supposed to help us on the defensive end is injured. So now we need to bring James back into the game real quick and play without Primo and adjust on the fly. I think that game we actually played out. There was a few things that we didn't do right, which if we had done would have been better. How we defended our pick and rolls, how we rebounded the ball. Those things were a major factor as to why we lost. And above all, how we even set our screens. Our bigs were not screening well. So really everything about that game was us not doing the things that we needed to do. It wasn't really about Falcons doing anything extraordinary. It was us playing short of our capabilities, and that's how come we lost that game.
They're not boxing out too.
Definitely.
I think in that game, our biggest shortfall or downfall was the fact that we were not taking the little things very serious. But now let's change the whole conversation to Ghana basketball. I know just right after we came out of Nigeria, they assembled a national team to play in their qualifiers.
Yeah, the World Cup qualifiers.
The World Cup qualifiers, although they didn't qualify. I believe, and it is my strongest conviction and opinion, though, that in December we were able to put together a 20-man squad to represent the national team. Personally, I believe pick any 12 out of the 20, we will beat Nigeria.
You mean the local squad that
The
you
local
selected
squad
to-
that they
Definitely, I agree with you.
pick any 12.
Yeah.
Pick any 12 with the experience of Doji, Doggy, the Arrow, Padlock, and Fred, Nigel, Mubarak. I feel we'll beat them hands down.
I mean, it was the same sentiments I had. Just after we played Rivers Hoopers, the coach, Coach Ogo, came to speak to the team, and then one of the statements he made, I remember, is we have come to show Nigeria how basketball is played now.
Yeah.
The new trend of basketball where it's not just pass into the post and pound and score, but it's more about ball movements, come off, pull up, shoot, and all of those things. And he was excited about how we played. And I think that alone made me know that, look, if we put together that team that was selected in December as the foundation of the national team for this country, and we put them through a training program and prepare them, those guys will beat the team that Nigeria sent to go represent them in the World Cup qualifiers. Because you look at some of the guys, and I'm looking at Primo, who wasn't even selected for the national team, goes out there and locks the guy up. And I'm asking myself, Amoto is dropping like 20 points per game on their head. And one of the guys said to me that, look, if this guy was in Nigeria, he would be on a national team. And we are here, and it's so we're like, then again, it comes back to what I said about it's just the opportunity. It's really about the opportunity. If we have it, we'll beat guys. Because Central African Republic local national team in the African just beat Equatorial Guinea by 1-1 something to 50 something. And I'm asking myself, like, this is a Central African Republic team that has guys that played in Ghana and guys that Ghanaians were playing better than them. So imagine that we put together our guys to compete in competitions like this. This would be like, it won't be so hard for us to do. It will be an opportunity that these guys will go out there and show out. So definitely, we have the guys that can do it. We just need to start it.
Yeah, then I personally have the same conviction that when we actually roll out a national team, we'll get boys a lot of experience and we'll do a lot of damage to some teams. With the body of work that most of the guys in all the teams have put in and the experience that we have, I believe putting together the national team is a big conversation that we need to go into. So, Ghana Basketball Association, we are ready. I believe the boys want to play. So let's get something going.
Definitely.
So on to the next topic. I think US Vice President was in town. Everybody was happy. There was a junior NBA camp for the girls. And I am a big advocate for girls playing basketball. They did a superb job till the sports minister was interviewed. I wish I could play that video for everybody to watch. I couldn't make a head or tail about what he was saying. I actually viewed the footage this evening before we came in here, and one of the things that was running through my head is, oh, maybe we didn't know the question he was asked. Does anybody know the question?
I think the question I was asked had to do with how this whole junior NBA camp was going to help with our basketball development, something like that. in that line.
Hey, yeah, what to papa, so papa. What was he saying?
Because
Oh, anyway, big ups to your say Spry Ball. Excellent guy, a very good mentor. And
Yeah.
you talk to Yao about idea one, he gives you 10 ideas. Big ups to Yao.
I honestly speaking, it was sad for me to watch. Honestly, I was sad when this is supposed to be a minister for sports. So basically, he's supposed to have an idea about
I
every.
don't think he even has an idea about sports because I saw him dribbling the basketball and the US vice president was doing what? Doing it, husband. Yeah. He was doing in between the legs and it was nice.
We can't really blame him because the culture in this country does not allow everyone to probably go through those kind of training as a kid and coming up. So fair enough. He's a sports minister. He can't play. That is fine.
No. I
But
don't agree with you. Let me tell you why I don't agree.
I believe that.
Let me explain to you.
But he doesn't have to know how
As
to
a sports
play
minister
basketball.
in Ghana, this is the problem. As a sports minister, one of the things that we are seeing is that you have to be in the political terrain to be on that seat. But that is not enough. It doesn't cut it. You have to have a bit of a sports minister. Come and tell us.
No, I mean,
what sports have you played?
I mean,
Because for me, if the sports minister has played soccer before, before you throw in, you bounce the ball and throw. Number one, if he was a goalkeeper, he will know how to bounce the ball and kick.
Robert Mensah.
Goalkeeper.
No, I don't agree with you.
Well,
I don't agree with you on that.
Let me get to your point. If he plays volleyball, he knows how to tap the ball on the ground before he saves. Handball, he should know how to dribble. So let's say you don't know how to do all this. So knowledge about basketball.
No,
And
this is why I don't agree with you.
why don't you agree?
He probably knows how to play soccer. Probably knows how to play tennis. He probably knows how to swim.
Or he does golf.
Probably. That's what I'm saying. He probably can do all of those.
And he's not minister of soccer.
That's what I'm saying. He's a minister for sports. So he should know about basketball. He shouldn't know how to play, but he should know about the sport.
I can bet you on this Togo jeans that I'm wearing that this guy who calls himself the minister doesn't even know a national team exists.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
That is the main reason why I was sad about his interview, because he sounded clueless about basketball in this country.
Then if he's clueless about basketball, then weightlifting and all the other sports there, sorry. Because this is it. Basketball has become the number 2 sport in Ghana. Before in Ghana it was soccer, athletics. Basketball has taken up the number 2 sport. How in God's heaven don't you know?
But I think they pay attention to weightlifting even
More than, yeah.
So he knows.
You see, let us not go into that conversation. Because even in the university terrain, that is the problem. They feel that if they are going for Olympics or a major competition and they take
Basketball.
12
people
basketball
plus
and they
coaching
bring
stuff.
plus 6 coaching staff and they bring 1 medal, they won't do it. Oh, okay. They won't do it. They won't do it. They'll actually prefer to take a weightlifter who table tennis player. So 2 in 1. Then they stand a chance of, and even the weightlifter, probably he's 65. He can play, he can actually compete in the category of 65 kg, 75. So he'll compete for 2 medals.
You see,
So if they take track and field, 4 by 100, they'll take 4 athletes. One will run 100 meters, one will run 200 meters,
one will run 400. Thank you.
Then maybe one will join any 3 of this to compete for a medal. So they are calculating will bring 4 medals. But this is not the mindset to grow sports in Ghana. I'm very sorry to say, Mr. Sports Minister, please.
Totally agree.
Basketball needs your attention. I am very sorry.
So that's what I had to say about the whole interview, about how do you go to a junior NBA camp that has the husband of the vice president of America there,
Spike Lee.
and Spike Lee, and the president of NBA
Yeah, but you should,
Africa, and
Ghana basketball
everyone.
president too was there.
So how do
Vice
you go
President
there
Alex
not-
Kukula was there.
So how do you go there not informed about what this whole thing is about? How I believe that even aside everything that he did, we as a basketball people, we as members of the Ghana Basketball Association should have also taken advantage of what went down during that period. Because this is a marketing strategy that we could have used for our national team and said that everyone that was selected in the national team, can you come there and
No, they actually did. The ladies did. The ladies were there. They were wearing the red national team tops that they were given. The
Okay.
ladies were there.
Okay.
That I know.
So it means we took good advantage of it.
We did. But my problem with the minister is that you have a Ghana Basketball Federation president with vice and a very experienced vice for technical. That is Mr. Idrisu. You didn't consult any of them.
He probably had this.
And you went to do this interview and you toto papaso.
He probably had a speech written down to come and give. But unfortunately, he was asked a question. So he had to answer on the fly.
Hold on. So I understand that probably he had a speech written down. But what was he going to say even in the speech? That is me. That is my question. What was he going to say in the speech? Have you even seen what any of our leagues? We played national championship. Did you even have
Yes.
anybody from sports camp?
For that, we can't blame him.
Why can't we
Then
blame him?
again, he has people at the NSA, National Sports Authority, who are supposed to grace the occasion on his behalf.
Hold on.
Because he doesn't go to sit at what's the name, Ghana Premier League games.
Hold on.
He gets.
I do understand that. But when in God's heaven again, have you seen in any of our basketball events, Afashe National Championship, Greater Accra League, if we have ever traveled to Kumasi League, and we'll be there and we'll be told, oh, hello, I'm a rep from the NSC. Mr. Minister told me to represent him and come and see what is going on, get your concerns and relay it back to him.
You see, then again, this should send us a message that we as an association need to also do better to draw his attention.
How?
Because really, if weightlifting and co are getting his attention, it should be worried for us.
I don't agree with you. Because in the stratosphere of sports, when he goes to his office, is it only football that is on his table?
Then we need to ask ourselves, have we also gone to his office?
No, hold on.
Have we gone to his office?
Hold on. You see?
Because I think one of the things he said to the girls was, his office is always open.
Oh, that would not be true.
Have you gone to his office and you have been sacked for? Have you gone to his office?
You do not even have access to him.
I'm asking, have you gone to his office?
And he has to pick up secretary.
No.
You have access to him. You
have not gone to the office to try to assess him.
No.
So we cannot say that.
This thing goes up. This thing goes up live. You open his office because he wants to prove me wrong. He wants to prove me wrong.
He said his
office is open.
It is a political
basketball. He is there for basketball. He wants to help basketball.
How many years has he been on the seat?
So probably since. I honestly don't know. I probably don't know how long he's been there, but definitely will be probably more than 2 years.
So more than 2 years. It is when US vice president came to Ghana and his husband attended this MBA,
junior MBA thing,
that he opened this door. I think he can do better. He can do better because if I'm not wrong, I stand to be corrected, viewers. You can still comment whilst watching this video. If I'm wrong, I'll read the comments and get back to you. I remember at a point, Ghana needed $10,000 to go play in a particular qualifier, basketball related.
That was probably under 16 or under 18.
Yes.
But that was a lot. He wasn't the minister.
John, I'm talking about a tradition and a precedence that has been set in that office. the Minister of Sports. We needed $10,000. As at that time, they were paying one Black Star player winning bonus $10,000.
Mhm.
When basketball took their staff there, we were told they don't have the money.
But then again, I think it's not just a one-way street because there's so many things that come into play. Soccer is bringing revenue. What are we doing as basketball?
It's not about revenue. I believe that soccer. Okay, yes, soccer is bringing revenue. I agree with you. The revenue,
We are not.
The revenue they are bringing is because attention has been paid into that sport,
We are not.
and they've put money into it.
We are not. I
See,
think.
I believe that you cannot go fishing and not go with a bait.
Mhm. So so the question then we have to ask ourselves: what are we the basketball people?
No,
What
we
are
as,
we thrown in as a bait?
no, we as various individuals have been actually doing our best.
Yes.
But where is the support from?
So then again, that is why the question is: how are you as an individual, as a team? How are you positioning yourself to be able to rake in sponsorship and attention?
They don't see real.
But the truth is that you think you have not been seen, but I can tell you for a fact that people are seeing what we are doing as a team, as Spintex 9. So that's what I'm saying. If we don't put ourselves out there for people to
Probably
notice what's
as a
going
team
on,
as Spintex now, but my biggest concern is Ghana basketball.
that's what I'm saying. That we have to put ourselves out there. We need to take ourselves
Do you know
out
what
there.
will happen? And the worst thing that will happen, that we will assemble a national team,
Mhm.
go to the minister, and they will tell us that it is not in the budget. We want to play as friendly Ghana Togo.
Fair enough. That's what I'm saying. That he has not budgeted it. That is fine. Which he is supposed to have budgeted for basketball anyway. He hasn't done it. Do we go back and say that, oh, he has not budgeted, so we are going back? That's what I'm saying, that we need to put ourselves out there. So we as an association.
We are saying we are not out there.
No, I don't think we are doing as a national team, we are not out there.
But we just put together the national team.
What have we done after putting it together?
We are waiting for competition.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We are waiting. So you don't go to MTN when it's about 2 days to the tournament and say, MTN, this is our national team.
The federation is putting some things together that we don't know about.
Fair enough.
We
That's
don't
what
know
I'm saying.
about.
That so if we don't do it and go out there and go and play, come back and say, look, without you giving us a penny, this is what we have been able to do. This is what we have achieved in this 1 year without your support.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
I believe that most of the trophies that you go win, rather, I don't know, the soccer people can correct me. The trophies that they win, African Cup, the last African Cup, where is it? Is it in the minister's office or is it in the
Please, they returned it because you didn't win it about 3 to keep, exactly. So you have to return
We
it.
won one for keeps.
Hey, which one? How many times did you win the African Cup?
Oh, we win African Cup 4 or 5 times, correct?
Okay. I don't know about soccer.
4 times. So
I don't know
one
about
was for
soccer.
keeps. So they're for keeps, you know.
Uh-huh.
Is it in the Minister of Sports office? Then we should go and collect it.
For what are you going to collect it for?
Oh, that one they okay, that one they sponsored. That is fine. So I'm asking that if they don't.
If they don't, they can't ask you for it really, because it will go to the association's office. They can't go to the minister's office when he knows very well that they have not put in really any resources.
Mr. Minister, support Ghana basketball.
He has to.
Yeah.
My problem with Ghana sports, whatever. We went to Ivory Coast and then we saw gym upon gyms, like indoor facilities. You understand? We went to Nigeria, same. Togo, same. And in Ghana, we don't even have a single basketball, like indoor.
Oh, UCC has one, but it doesn't belong to the Ghana.
No, like we don't have an arena, a basketball arena.
So
much.
Like the Apata one, no.
Something small.
Apata one.
Only roof on top.
That one. And then see the league that we play in this country, we are hitting the June, July thing, and then we all know Ghana.
Yeah.
Like it's so
Flooding.
bad.
Bloody.
And then you get to the place to
But the ozone layer has changed. So probably June, July won't rain. I mean,
Then to go and rain well. I guess September.
I guess September.
and then it's sad though, like we
Right.
as players, we
No, you
as
see,
players,
the issue of infrastructure was one of the next things that we were supposed to talk about. The issue of infrastructure is very sad because we have people, foreigners come working here, come dig resources, go away free, get away free with them. Galamsey, they are not giving anything back and all that. I've lived in communities outside where every 2 blocks or every block there's a basketball court, and that is how you grow the game. And I know that conversations are going on to build community courts. That is fine.
Indoor.
Let's start with the outdoor because you come to even our community, Spintex, Sakumono, you have to pay about 15 cedis to play basketball. Outside, the courts are free for you to learn. So it is making the sport expensive because if you don't have the money, you cannot play. Let us not even talk about the basketball jerseys and the sneakers that people are selling at outrageous price. We are not talking about that. Then the banku that they are selling. But I believe that for Ghana as a whole, still sports minister, infrastructure, because we cannot be playing basketball in the sun. Me growing up, this is how we learned to play basketball. You get a net, you cut underneath it, nail it against a mango tree.
Fast.
Then you take tennis ball, then you take off the skin, then we call it adum ball. Then you dribble. The person who is able to throw it into the net. Even when we score cry, we say go. We are happy that things like junior NBA is happening.
It's happening, yeah.
Where kids, and for those university people who are 20 years, and they said the thing is 18 and under.
Please, everyone who went there was 18 and under. Anyone that went above
18.
anyone that went above that age went as a spectator or as a coach.
I don't want to mention names.
No.
Please.
Something.
Okay. My people have stopped me. Like I've mentioned names.
I think
University students, you are doing junior MBA for.
please.
Okay.
I think I think my sentiments about infrastructure has been off and on because I know I had a conversation with a friend who's a coach in the States, and he said, Thomas, can you find a space, a land around somewhere in East Lebanon where I can come in, build an indoor gym for you guys?
So go and tell Mr. Minister.
And
Don't give me free land.
and you see, I'm asking myself, like, I'm looking through and there's land, right? But no one willing to put the infrastructure there
But
because
yeah.
when they put in those things, and you see, one major thing in our discussion I found out was that we, even as basketball people, don't really patronize basketball activities. So you hear that there's a tournament, you go. We are not able to rake in.
But if you take me as basketball people, I don't agree because I can hit my chest and say that the past year, I don't know of any basketball event that I missed.
Good. That's just you. But
I'll start from my regional. I'll say I attended about 90%.
Can we boldly say that we had a basketball event and raked in about 300 people?
No, we cannot. Do you know why we cannot? Because we don't make basketball attractive.
So what is going to motivate someone to come and put in an infrastructure that's supposed to take about 1,000 or 2,000 people, knowing that the place will not be full for me to rake my money, for me to get my money back?
Show you how we eat it.
But honestly, Sprite ball, like,
yes, that Sprite ball that happens like three days in a year.
But I was raking in the numbers.
How many people were attending Sprite ball compared to high
You
school
want to
for
tell me?
basketball.
Hold on.
What I'm saying is that,
Hold
like
on.
you just said, we have not the basketball as entertainment, as a business. We haven't done anything about it. Basketball has just been about competition and the sport. But if we really want to have an arena and all of those things, we need to look at the business aspect of it, because you need to look at who's coming to sell, who's coming to clean,
Bring artists and then
who's
all
coming to
those
perform,
things.
I believe,
all of
I
those
believe
things.
also,
And all of now you have to look at, it can't just host basketball. Because if the minister decides to put up an arena, he's looking at volleyball, he's looking at handball, he's looking at all of those things.
we want basketball. Okay, I think we would pause here and continue next week. It looks like it is an exciting conversation. Next week we'll be looking at how to commercialize, make business out of basketball, and actually improve the entertainment part. So next week we'll be having people who will have a very fruitful discussion about one, commercializing basketball, and even I'm even concerned about how we actually make our basketball professional.
Mhm.
So thank you for watching Game Time podcast. For anybody who's in the space to sponsor, our numbers are 0244 or 055 254 0279. It was good having you guys.